What's going on, Patriots fans? Welcome back to another deep dive into everything buzzing around Foxborough. If you thought things were calming down after the draft and early OTAs, think again, because the Stephon Diggs situation is taking another twist, and this one could actually have some contract consequences. It's the kind of story that keeps evolving, and whether it's legit concern or just off-season noise, it's impossible to ignore. We'll break it all down. What's fact, what's speculation, and what it could mean for the Patriots offense moving forward. On top of that, the wide receiver battle is heating up with 12 names fighting for just a handful of spots. And some unexpected players are making noise. There's a new name making waves in the secondary that coaches are already calling the eraser. And if you're into young talent stepping up, you're going to want to hear about this one. And to top it all off, there are some heavy rumors swirling around one of the NFL's elite defenders, a game wrecker who might just be looking for a way out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, we're talking about TJ Watt. And yes, the Patriots are being mentioned as a possible landing spot. So let's get into it. Let's start with Stephon Diggs, because honestly, this storyline refuses to die. And for good reason. After the drama from last weekend, including that viral video clip that had people scrambling to decode body language. And sideline tension, it was the comments, or more accurately, the strategic silence, from head coach Mike Vrabel that really raised eyebrows. He's not saying much publicly, but it's clear there are conversations happening behind closed doors. Diggs hasn't reported to OTAs, and yes, they are voluntary, so technically it's not mandatory for a veteran like him to show up. But let's not pretend it's a total non-story. We're talking about a high-profile wide receiver who just landed in New England, signed a deal worth $69 million over 3 years, and yet hasn't cleared his physical and isn't on the field with his new team. That's more than just a veteran taking it easy in June. Now the contract is where things get really interesting. On paper, the deal includes $26 million guaranteed, which normally means the Patriots are locked in. But according to several sources, and this is what's getting Patriots fans talking, there's language in the contract that protects the team if Diggs doesn't pass a full physical. As of now, that physical reportedly hasn't happened, which means theoretically the Patriots could walk away from this deal without major financial consequences. Let me repeat that. If Diggs doesn't pass his physical, New England might be able to hit the eject button on the entire contract. That's a massive wrinkle, especially after reports surfaced that the Patriots had at least discussed the idea of cutting ties with him. Not necessarily because they want to, but because they could if things go sideways. This isn't to say that's the plan. In fact, if you're asking me, I still think this is mostly off-season drama amplified by the quiet calendar. We're still over 3 months away from meaningful football, and when there's not much happening on the field, stories like this get blown up. That said, I do believe there's a line that Diggs and the team are tiptoeing around. He's got superstar talent. We're talking about a legit WR1 someone Drake May desperately needs if he's going to make this offense go. And from that perspective alone, you'd think the Patriots would want to do everything they can to keep him happy and on board. But chemistry matters, and if the front office or coaching staff starts to believe they were sold a version of Stephon Diggs that doesn't match reality, that's where things get tricky. What I do hope is that this becomes a footnote in the story, not the whole book. If Diggs finishes his rehab, passes that physical, and shows up ready to dominate like we know he can, then great. Crisis averted. But until that happens, this is going to keep surfacing in conversations because it touches on performance, expectations, locker room dynamics, and ultimately the future of a very young quarterback who needs stability around him. Keep in mind, if this doesn't work out, it's not just about losing Diggs. It's about missing out on a veteran who was supposed to be the rock of this receiving corps, someone to lead, produce, and teach. And speaking of receivers, let's talk about that position group, because even without the Diggs drama, it's one of the most intriguing battles on the roster right now. There are 12 receivers fighting for what looks like maybe 6 spots. 4 seem like virtual locks, assuming Diggs is in the fold. You've got free agent acquisition Mac Hollins, who brings size and toughness. Pop Douglas, the explosive. Returner from last season, who's been electric every time he touches the ball. And Kyle Williams, the rookie third-round pick, who's already turning heads with his route running. That leaves 2 spots up for grabs, and the competition is intense. One name that keeps popping up in discussions is Keishon Boutte. Now, this is a guy who came into the league with a lot of hype. At one point during his LSU career, people were talking about him as a potential first-round pick. But injuries and inconsistency dropped his stock, and the Patriots were able to snag him in the later rounds. Despite a rocky start, something clicked late last season. He started seeing more targets, earned trust in big spots, and began looking like a real weapon for Drake May. And yet, with the logjam at receiver, his future is still uncertain. There were even whispers that New England was quietly shopping him before the draft, seeing if they could get some value. Nothing materialized, but the fact that those conversations were happening shows just how fluid this position group really is. At the moment, it looks like Bout is in a direct battle with guys like Kendrick Bourne, who's dealing with his own contract and performance questions, and young upstarts like Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. What's wild is that all three booted. Polk and Baker are 23 years old. It's not like Bout is some grizzled vet trying to fend off rookies. He's right there in the mix development-wise. What could give him the edge is experience and familiarity with the system. And let's not forget, head coach Mike Vrabel has already taken notice. Vrabel recently mentioned that Bout came into OTAs in much better shape, and it's been noticeable. He's moving quicker, showing better stamina, and looking like a guy who wants to earn that roster spot. Vrabel also praised his attitude, said he's showing a willingness to adapt and improve, which is a huge deal, especially when you're competing for the last few spots. Coaches notice that stuff. And sometimes it's not just about talent or draft status, it's about what you bring every day. So right now, if I had to make a call, I'd say Bout edges into that 6th spot, with someone like Javon Baker maybe slide into the practice squad. But this is far from settled. There's still a long way to go. And another name that could shake things up is undrafted rookie Eve Chisholm from Eastern Washington. The coaching staff likes his raw ability, and he's expected to go head-to-head with some of these guys throughout camp. Don't sleep on him. Now, shifting to the other side of the ball, let's talk about the defense. Because while the offense gets most of the headlines, the Patriots may have found a hidden gem in rookie safety Craig Woodson. Drafted in the 4th round out of Cal, Woodson didn't have a ton of hype around his name on draft day. But inside, the building. Totally different story. The Patriots had him rated much higher on their board, and according to reports, they were prepared to take him at the very top of the 4th round. When he fell into their lap, it was a no-brainer. Woodson is 24 years old, which makes him an older rookie, and he played 6 college seasons starting the last 3. That experience shows. Coaches are already calling him the Eraser, a nickname given to him by his defensive backs coach at Cal, who said that no matter what the play call was or what went wrong, Woodson was the guy who made things right. If a matchup looked off, if a formation gave them trouble, Woodson was the one adjusting and cleaning up. That's a huge compliment, especially from someone who worked with him every day. And now, just a few weeks into OTAs, Woodson is earning similar respect in New England. He's been holding his own against the Patriots' top offensive weapons and is showing the kind of versatility that makes him a perfect fit for modern sub-packages. With Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar both working their way back from injury, Woodson is getting valuable reps and he's taking advantage of everyone. Between him, veterans like Jalen Mills and Jalen Hawkins, and a few younger guys pushing for playing time, that safety group might be one of the deepest and most flexible units on the team. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Foxborough has been buzzing with speculation over the past few days, as multiple sources hint at a blockbuster move that could shake up the AFC East. Derrick Henry might be on his way to New England, potentially donning the iconic number 22 jersey for the Patriots. While no official statement has been made by the team or the players' representatives, insiders close to the situation suggest that discussions between Henry's camp and the Patriots front office have intensified. If these whispers are true, the move would mark one of the most significant free agent acquisitions in recent Patriots history. Henry, long recognized as one of the most dominant and punishing running backs in the NFL, could bring a much-needed spark to a Patriots offense. I'd struggled to find consistency on the ground last season. His imposing frame, combined with his rare blend of speed and power, might be exactly what head coach Jerod Mayo needs to establish a more physical, offensive identity. Adding fuel to the speculation, several Patriots players recently took to social media with cryptic messages, leading fans and analysts to believe that something major is in the works. Moreover, a local Boston sports radio show claimed earlier this week that Henry had been spotted dining with members of the Patriots coaching staff. A report that, while unconfirmed, has only amplified the chatter. Still, some remain skeptical. The Patriots are known for their methodical and often secretive approach to roster construction, and signing a marquee player like Henry would represent a notable shift in strategy for the typically frugal organization. Cap space considerations and Henry's own durability concerns, he's logged heavy mileage over the past few seasons, could also complicate any potential deal. Regardless, the possibility of seeing Derrick Henry sporting the Patriots' Nasir 22 jersey has electrified the fan base and left NFL watchers eagerly awaiting confirmation. For now, it remains just that. A tantalizing rumor, but one that feels more plausible with each passing hour. Stay tuned as this story continues to develop. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.